What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? As you know, the main channel is on members only. If you want to chat freely, feel free to go over to the Really Be TV Reviews channel. I'm going to pin the link. I haven't done it yet. I'm getting ready to pin the link right now. And we are getting ready to get into this episode because honestly, you guys, it ain't going to take long. And I know I always say that, and then somehow y'all get me talking about something else. But really, it's not going to take long because it really, yeah, this show getting on my nerves. Hold on, let me put it in the chat. This show getting. All right. All right. We are 54 subscribers away from our 1,000 subscriber goal. So we are getting there, y'all. We almost there. Uh-oh. My bad. So we are getting there. We are getting there. I never thought it would take me this long to get to 1,000 subscribers because, duh, I got 16,000 subscribers over on this main channel. Like, it makes me wonder, who are these people that are subscribed to me? Because I keep telling y'all, once I get that other channel monetized, I will no longer be doing reviews on this channel. This channel is going to be like celebrity news. I'll probably do like, certain things over here, but most of my reviews are going to be on the other channel because I'm trying to get in the right algorithm, you guys. I'm trying to get in the right algorithm. So anyway, let's get into this episode because I'm going to be honest with you guys. Y'all are going to probably be mad at me by the time we get to the end of this episode because I feel like we may not be on the same page when it comes to certain things. But let's get into it. We start this episode off. We see Danielle is still getting ready for Fashion Week. Melissa and Joe are getting used to not having Antonia in the house, and she seems to be adjusting to college well, yada, yada, yada. So we jump right in. We see Marg is on a girls' trip. So we see Marg talking to Rachel, kind of getting the download of what happened at the brunch. We see Melissa giving Joe the download of what happened at the brunch. The first half of this episode was everybody downloading each other on what happened at the brunch. We see Teresa. I don't even know. We see Jackie Goldschneider coming over to Teresa's house. And of course, Jackie's like, I mean, if you said a year ago, hey Kenya, hey boo, welcome back, because you've been a member before. Welcome back. Like, what I find to be very interesting is Jackie is like, yeah, I know, like, I'm really enjoying getting to know Teresa better. And if you had said last year that I would be here at Teresa's house, I would think you were crazy. But, I mean, it's been fun. It's really cool. And I'm just thinking, girl, like, you really don't realize that you are being used and abused, okay? Teresa wouldn't have nothing to say to you if you were still cool with Marg, if you were still cool with Melissa. But the fact that you are not like hanging out with them like you were, and you and Marg are kind of having y'all little moment. Now all of a sudden, Teresa's inviting you to her house. Girl, bye. And don't get me wrong, people can change, relationships can evolve, yada yada yada. But we ain't gonna sit here and act like we don't know what this is with Teresa and Jackie, okay? So they talked about, again, they just talked about the brunch. This is how I feel about it. We were all there. So if every scene is just one person downloading the other person about what happened at an event that they weren't at, for whatever reason that they weren't at that event, or just rehashing what happened at the event, child, I don't care. Jackie better be planning a double cross, or she's the most foolish housewife in history. Well, everybody keeps saying that she's doing this to try to get back on the show to get her full-time slide back on the show. And so if that's the case, then the only thing that I can think of is that she thinks that Teresa is her ticket to the full-time slide. Like, if you feel like, oh, okay, I got to be cool with Teresa to get my full-time position back, then you must feel like that Teresa has a better position with getting you that than being cool with Melissa and Marg, which I'm not necessarily convinced that that's the case. I don't know. Oh, Lord, here come Phil. And the sad thing is, Phil, I think at a certain point, me and you are going to actually agree on something. And it's always scary when me and Phil agree on anything. But I think we're going to agree on something at a certain point in this episode. But, yeah, honestly, I didn't, maybe it's me, you guys, and maybe this is a side effect of the divided cast, but I honestly feel like we spend more of the episodes with these. It happens on every show where you have to recap what happened. Oh my gosh, you have the event and then everybody has to talk about what happened at the event. But is it me, or do I feel like it was more of this downloading in this episode. I feel like everybody is downloading everybody in this episode. And I was like, I was there. I don't need to keep hearing y'all talk about what happened at the brunch. I was at the brunch. I wasn't at it. I saw it. So like I said, Marg is out of town. We see her talking to Rachel, and Rachel downloads her what happened at the brunch. And again, I really don't feel like there's anything new. Like, I wouldn't even mind if they were adding some new insight, but I really don't feel like they are. I feel like they're just talking about, because I said this to Teresa, and Teresa said that, and Teresa was mad, and then Danielle said that, and then Teresa said that, and I honestly feel like it's this. Like, I don't feel like they're adding anything that I don't already know. So honestly, I'm just kind of fast forward. The one thing that I feel like they should have showed us, they didn't show us, but I'm gonna get to that in a second. All of these rehashings of the brunch that we were all at, I feel like the stuff that they needed to tell. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say it because I know I'm probably gonna forget. Like, for example, at the end of this episode, when Teresa and John, when the two couples of Rachel, John, Teresa, and Louie decided to sit down to have this sit down, when did that happen? Who called who? How was it arranged? Did production make y'all do it? Thank you, Jonathan Boo. Like, did production make y'all do it? You mean to tell me that production didn't even go through the trouble of pretending like somebody called somebody to set this thing up? It was almost like, unless I just zoned out, it was almost like we looked up and all of a sudden you see Teresa and Louie talking about they doing their namaste yoga, talking about, so are you ready for today? And then we saw Louie called John. But they showed us like a really quick clip after the fact, right? Like, I saw the clip of Louie calling John, but for something like this, like up until this point, this has been a major thing. I just feel like, I don't know, maybe it was me, but I feel like they spent a lot of time on this and they didn't give us hardly any time on the other one. Like, to me, if they had taken out one of these little download scenes at the beginning of this episode, they could have given us a whole conversation between Louie and John. Like, why did Louie decide to call? I mean, I know that Louie said he would, but in that moment when he called, why did he decide to call? What was said in that conversation? Because John kept referring back to what was said in the conversation, but we never saw it. Like, John was like, promises were made. And I feel like if you're going to keep your promises, well, what promises were made? Because we weren't privy to that conversation. I mean, I know John said, well, I was told I would get an apology, but why can't we see the conversation is what I'm saying. It would have taken 3 minutes. And that was 3 minutes that you could have taken out Jackie and Teresa, Melissa and Joe, Rachel and Marg. Like, the only download we needed was Rachel and Marg, because Marg wasn't there. Okay, but we certainly did not need to see Jackie and Teresa because they were both at the damn brunch. We didn't really need to see Melissa downloading Joe. We know Melissa told Joe as soon as she got home from that damn brunch. Like, anyway, y'all get the point though, right? Potholes. And I must apologize because last week when they showed us this clip with Dolores and Paulie, I really thought that the conversation didn't go this way. I said last week, I don't think Dolores is all that pressed about this marriage and divorce situation. But honestly, y'all, I'm starting to think maybe she is. I am starting to think that maybe she is more worried than what we thought. I mean, Paulie said that they've been on this divorce process for 3 years. Now, again, I don't know because the laws are different. It's been a lot of years. I guess there was no prenup, whatever. I've seen divorces take 3 years. Like hell, we've seen divorces take 10 years, right? Depending on how hard people are fighting, depending on what needs to be divided, depending on all of the ins and outs of the situation. Do I think Paulie is dragging his feet? I don't think he's purposefully dragging his feet. I just don't think it's at the top of his priority list, so he doesn't care. I think if his attorney calls him on a Monday, he might call the attorney back on Thursday. I just don't think it's a priority for him because, like he said, do you think that I'm going to get divorced on Monday and then propose to you on Tuesday? So honestly, this conversation, I really didn't think this conversation went the way it went, but it looks like Paulie is like sort of. I don't think Paulie wants to get the divorce. And again, do I think it's business reasons? I don't think he has an emotional connection to his ex-wife. I mean, I don't know nothing about his ex-wife. I don't know nothing about him or his ex-wife. I don't think there's like a big connection there. I just think that his life has been fine the way it's been for the last 10 years, and he doesn't want to change that. I do think there may be something that might affect his business or affect something. And I just don't think he's that interested. And he's getting what he wants. He's got Dolores full time. He's got his wife, wherever the hell she is. And he's dealing with his life, living his best life. Now, I will say this, Dolores, and y'all know I love Dolores. Y'all know she's my favorite. I don't think Dolores going nowhere. Like, I think she's gonna fuss and fight and complain and but I don't think at least not right now. She ain't going nowhere. And Paulie knows she ain't going nowhere. I think if Paulie agreed to buy a house and put her name on that house and they moved in that house and that was their primary residence, I think she'd be all right. I don't know if Dolores really is concerned about a marriage. I don't. DM Rock said, thank you for the super chat. John Fuda wants to be a housewife so bad he and Rachel can go and take Melissa with them. Ooh, well, okay, DM Rocks, we know what side of the fence you stand on. And like I said, I think I might surprise y'all when I get to the end of this episode. So y'all hold on. We almost there because, again, there wasn't no whole lot there for this episode. We almost at the end. So then we see, I don't know the order. I'm just going to say the next scene. I think it was Jen Fessler meeting up with Jennifer Aiden. And again, they're downloading the brunch. Now, the one thing I thought was interesting is that Jen Aiden did tell Fessler about the conversation that was had about how Danielle felt about them bringing the hairdresser to the house, to Jen's house when she had the doggy thing, and her talking shit about Danielle. And when she was like, Danielle was like, who cares? She didn't belong with us in VIP. And Jen Fessler was like, oh, wow, I think that was a shitty thing to say, especially since she did her hair for apparently for free. I don't remember that woman saying that Danielle didn't pay her for her hair. I could be wrong, and I could have missed it. And I mean, obviously that conversation was edited, so maybe it was more to it. But I didn't hear that woman say that Danielle did not pay her. Now, my opinion does change a little bit if Danielle did not pay her. But if Danielle paid that woman, my opinion does not change. If she bought a regular ticket for the event, she should not have assumed that she could upgrade just because she did Danielle's hair. And I feel like because she knew them, She knew the people in VIP. And it sounds like it wasn't hard to walk her ass over into the VIP. I think that she felt like, well, I did Danielle's hair. I've done Teresa's hair. I know all those people that's over there in VIP. Why I can't sit over in VIP? And what Danielle was saying was, well, number one, you didn't pay to be in VIP. And maybe you couldn't pay for a VIP ticket. Maybe it was an invite-only situation. And again, I know this is going to come off mean, and, you know, I hope y'all still love me, but just because she did your hair does not entitle you to a seat in VIP. Now, I know some people might let their entourage be a VIP, their hairdresser, their makeup artist, whatever. But that doesn't automatically mean that that's where you go. If you did a service for me and I paid you for that service and you bought a regular ticket. Now, I don't know Danielle, and I don't know what Danielle's issue is because she really hasn't articulated that. But maybe if the woman has said, well, you know, Danielle, I did buy a regular ticket. You think you could upgrade me, girl? Maybe. And if it were me and if it were my event, I would have upgraded you, right? I wouldn't have even, but I probably wouldn't have thought about it had you not brought it up. But if you said, hey, girl, do you mind? Can I get a little upgrade? You know, I did get, you know, I got a ticket for the event, but you think I could get a little upgrade? I probably would have upgraded you. But for you to watch Susie your ass over to VIP, and then when the lady asked you to leave, your attitude was, no, I'm not leaving. I'm sorry, what? You don't get to tell me you're not going to leave. You don't get to make that decision. But anyway, then they got to talking about Jen trying to move forward with her relationship with Melissa, and she is going to go to Melissa's housewarming. And Jen Fessler asked her, well, how does Teresa feel? And, you know, Jennifer Aitken basically said, listen, she ain't crazy about it, but she understands that I have to move forward with these people, even if she's not, you know, trying to have a relationship with them. I need to move forward with them. And I was like, you know Teresa like I know Teresa. You know that's going to be a problem. But okay, girl. Now, while this is going on, Marg is having some sort of fundraiser down to the golf course for first responders. It's a great cause. It looks like it's a cute little situation. But did y'all check out them golf? Now, listen. I particularly am not a golf person. However, I do like a little golf cart. Like, I've been to resorts and I've been places where you have golf carts, right? Baby, did y'all check out that golf cart that Marg had? That had like the back seat with the table in the middle, and you could sit around the table, and it had the cup holders in the table where you could put your drinks. Baby, I was here for that golf cart. I don't care nothing about playing golf, and I would have made a little donation to the cause. But baby, if I could have just rolled around in that golf cart with a damn drink for the rest of the afternoon, baby, I would have been fine with that. And let's be clear, we didn't really see the ladies do that much golfing. And they had on these cute matching outfits. That was real cute. I don't think we paid enough attention to the fact that they had on these matching outfits. Like, did we ask why? Because Marg, it was her event, and they didn't have on matching outfits. I mean, did we ask why they had on matching outfits? They look cute, though. It was Dolores, Rachel, Melissa, and somebody else. I forget who the fourth person was. All four of them had on matching little cheerleading outfits. Now, the outfits look more like cheerleading outfits than golf outfits. But I was just a little curious about why they was all matching. Because the men weren't matching. Now, the men was over on the other golf carts doing what the men do, child. The men were over there doing what the men do. Getting drunk, making dumb bets, doing stupid frat boy, white boy shit, okay? At the end, they made Marge's husband take a tee out of his, he had to lay down with his ass out, and they put the tee in the middle of his ass, and then teed off. Oh, that's what they were doing. They were serving drinks. Got it. You know what? Can I be honest with y'all? I think I might have really zoned out this episode because I don't remember that. Thank you, Chuck. Maybe I really did zone out in this episode because there's a lot of stuff that as I'm talking to y'all, I don't remember. That's not good. That is not good that I honestly do not remember that conversation. But now that makes sense why they were all matching. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Right, that's Marg's friend. You're right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Kenya. I'm so listen, I just have to apologize to y'all. Maybe I really just zoned out this episode. Because I don't remember none of that. I mean, now that y'all are saying it, it's making sense. It's all making sense. So I just have to apologize to y'all. Okay. So Melissa's talking about her housewarming, and she said she did invite Jackie and she did invite Jennifer Aiden, you know, saying basically, look, they just trying to move forward and be on a clean slate, and it is what it is. Marg is trying to kill them. Okay. Marg is she texting and driving and she running into the people, but it was a cute little afternoon. It was cute. It was cute. Then we had the fashion show. It was cute. We moving on. It's really, listen, Danielle had it. I'm happy for her. It seemed like it was successful. It was cute. Moving forward. Can I say something though? Danielle really thinks she's bougie. Because she talked about how her mom and dad weren't going to be there because they were taking a European cruise. And she was saying how her godmother was going to be there. And she was like, that's who I get my bougie from. And I'm thinking, oh, she really thinks she's bougie. Oh. Now, granted, I don't know that woman like that. I only know what I see on this show. But based on what I have seen on these last two seasons, well, last season and the first 5 episodes of this season, I don't really see bougie. I mean, do y'all see bougie? I don't really see bougie. Okay. Dolores brought up the Paulie thing. Paulie said he trying to start a business with Dolores. He said, I don't really think that, you know, I ain't really tripping over the marriage thing, but sure, let's go start a business together. I don't even understand that concept. So you don't want to marry me, but we can start a business flipping houses. And I'm with Joe Judice on this one. He was like, listen, I done known Dolores since I was 5 years old. Dolores don't want to start no business with you. Dolores want to ride around in that Rolls Royce that she been riding around in and just live a good life. But she wants that security blanket. I ain't mad at her. She ain't no spring chicken. She ain't getting no younger, and I ain't mad at her. Okay. I just don't think that's what Paulie going. I'm not saying Paulie will never give it to her, but I don't think that's his end goal either. Now that you said that, I don't see bougie. Yeah, I mean, listen, I guess it's all in what your opinion of what you think bougie is, but baby, I don't see bougie. But okay. So we have Teresa and Louie out by the pool doing yoga, child. Namaste, bitches. Okay. And basically, Teresa's like, you know, I'm going to show up and I'm going to be cordial and try to get through this. But they don't want the old Teresa to come out. I mean, if they want to see her, she can be there. I can bring her out. And then we have Rachel and Fuda basically having the same type of conversation about what their expectation is and what they're looking for. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. Rachel was giving me "I'm over it" tease in this scene. Like Rachel was giving me, I really feel like you're dragging this, and we want to move forward. Like the whole thing about Teresa saying that he parks cars. I'm proud of me parking cars. I'm proud of that. Well, she needs to apologize for saying that I park cars. I work hard. Which one is it? Then this whole drug dealer situation. Look, let me just get to it. So we get to the dinner. Y'all, Louie, it's something is off about Louie. Did y'all see how Louie was looking at that dinner? Like his hair was all over the place. He was red. I mean, all of them are red to be fair, but he was red and he just looked like something ain't right with Louie. And I ain't trying to even jump on the Teresa Louie bandwagon like, ooh, Louie, but something is just not right with him. Did y'all see him? He just looked crazy. So here, Phil, are you listening? Phil, you still here? Here's where me and Phil are probably get ready to agree on something. Y'all, John Fuda was getting on my damn nerves in this moment. John and Rachel. I mean, they were getting on my nerves. Let me tell you what one of my biggest pet peeves is. First of all, asking for an apology, I don't subscribe to asking for an apology, because here's the thing. I shouldn't have to ask you for an apology. If you really felt like you did something wrong, then you'll apologize for what you did. That's number one. So the fact that John was like, I want my apology, don't you think you owe me an apology? Either Teresa gonna apologize or she isn't. Now it sounds like she apologized privately, but you wanted her to do it on camera. That's what it sounds like, which I respect, because y'all know I tell y'all all the time, you apologize in the same way you disrespected me. So on that one, I'm not mad at, right? The second thing I have a problem with is I don't like apologies that are if I. So when Teresa was like, well, if I ... you already wrong for me. It's not an if I. It is I'm sorry that I. Because here's the thing. If I'm telling you that I was offended, if I'm telling you that I was upset, if I'm telling you that you did this and you did that, then if you are truly apologizing, you will apologize for what I said you did to me, not if you felt, because I just told you I did. I literally just told you I felt disrespected, or I felt upset, or you did. I just told you did. So it's not a if I, it is a that I. And if you're not ready to say, I apologize that I ... then don't give me shit. Then I don't want shit. But here is my third biggest pet peeve. Do not tell me that my apology was insincere. Do not tell me, well, yeah, you apologize, but I don't think you meant it. I want you to mean it. Bitch, who the hell are you talking to? You asked, I gave. You ain't got to accept it. But what you won't do is sit here and tell me, do it again, because that wasn't good enough. Bitch. Hey, Phil. Thank you for the super chat, boo. Phil said, speak on it really be. Teresa apologized and bought a gift for Joe. The Fudas came in trying to throw Joe in Teresa's face. They were fans. Now, I will say that Teresa. Girl, you know you want to be back in your brother's life. You bought him a whole housewarming gift to a party that not only were you not invited to, but even if you had been invited, you wasn't going to go. And let's be clear, Joe and Melissa didn't have 50 houses. Child, you done bought them a housewarming gift. You wanted everybody to know that you were trying, because you did it on camera so that people would see it and know it and hear it, right? And I'm not mad at you about it. I just want y'all to fix it. Okay, moving forward. So let me say this about this last scene. In this last scene, for this last 5 minutes of this episode, I was Team Teresa. Now, I ain't saying I am Team Teresa on everything, but in this last 5 minutes of this episode, when I tell you that Joe Fuda got on my nerves so damn bad in this last 5 minutes, first of all, and then he sat there, he was like, I want you to understand, you're taking the word of a drug dealer, a drug addict, just outside, right across the street. She did. And don't nobody need all the damn theatrics. We get it. Your ex-wife / girlfriend, whoever the hell she was, she ain't shit. We get it. But let's be clear. If we're going to be fair, we're going to be fair, y'all. Let's be clear. Teresa repeated something that was in an article. Now, there is some questions about whether Teresa planted the article or whether Teresa made arrangements for that article to be put out there so she could talk about it on the show. And that's fine. But let's be clear. She can't talk about something that didn't happen. So you did get arrested for drugs. Now, granted, you might have been a child and it might have only been weed. Who gives a fuck? But you did get arrested for drugs. And at no point in time did I ever think, going back to this first episode, I never felt like Teresa was saying he was currently a drug dealer. I always felt like Teresa was referring to the article, which referred to his past. Am I the only one tripping? Am I the only one that saw that or heard that? I never felt like Teresa was saying he was a drug dealer in present day. I never heard that. So you coming in here with all this bravado and acting like Teresa did something so horrible to you when all she basically did was throw some shit that your ex-girlfriend said. Now, that don't mean it's true, but we are not going to sit here and rewrite the rules of reality TV and act like that shit don't happen on every show all the time. Hell, we saw what Kenya did this weekend, allegedly. So we're not going to sit here and act like people don't take what happened in your past. They brought up Nene being a scripper, Mia being a scripper, people's ex-wives, ex-husbands. Hell, they bring up if the ex-wife did something, they bring that up. So I just feel like that the Fudas are doing way too much about what Teresa did. Teresa did what Teresa always does, right? It's a show. It's what they do. And then when Teresa was trying, and Teresa really was, and again, I'm sure this scene might have been edited or whatever, but Teresa really was trying to talk to them, and she really was trying to apologize. And it was after Fuda just kept going on and on and on and on. That's when Teresa finally was like, okay, well, I feel like you owe us an apology too. Now, Teresa, I don't know what the hell they owe you an apology for. That might have been going a little bit far. I don't know. I don't know what they owe you an apology for. I don't care because I don't think they owe you anything. But we're not going to sit here and act like Teresa did not show up trying to have the conversation, because I think she did. I honestly do believe she did. Because she was like, well, I don't think you were really ever trying to be my friend. I said, oh, so that's what this is about. So Rachel, you feeling some kind of way about Teresa going back to last season because you feel like Teresa kind of didn't try to get close to you because of your friendship with Melissa? Well, that's probably true because she don't F with Melissa. She don't F with Melissa. So you came on the show last season through Melissa. She wasn't effing with Melissa. Why would she go out of her way to do anything with you? So yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, I was looking at this. They got on my nerves so bad in that last. And y'all know I am not Team Teresa lately, but baby, they got on my nerves so much in the last 5 minutes of this episode. Rachel and John Fuda, baby, they gonna make me be Team Teresa, and I was Team Teresa for a good 5 minutes. Now that I ain't said forever, and I didn't say in all things. But when it come to this John Fuda Rachel situation, because Rachel got on my nerves last week, and I thought Rachel was doing too much at that brunch. I honestly did. I honestly felt like Rachel did way too much at that brunch. Them going on and on about it created more attention towards him being a drug. Right! Like, sir, if you had calmed your little ass down. No, see, I knew Phil. See, Phil, you went too far. See what I'm saying? You give people itch and they take them out. I told you the last 5 minutes of this episode, I am not a tree hugger. Although, I did used to like Teresa. When I went back and I started watching the old episode, Teresa started getting on my nerves when, this is my problem with Teresa. My biggest problem with Teresa is that she never holds herself to the same standard that she wants from everybody else. That is my biggest problem with Teresa. Teresa is always quick to be like, she said it today. Well, we didn't do anything wrong. We didn't do anything wrong. We didn't do anything wrong. And when I go back to season 2, when Teresa started that fight with Danielle, now let's be clear. We know that Danielle was crazy as a bed bug, okay? We know her ass was crazy, okay? We know. But Teresa, you started that fight with that lady down to the brownstone. And then you chased that lady all the way through the damn brownstone. And then you sat back and act like you didn't do nothing wrong. But that is pretty much all I have for this episode, you guys. Like I said, it wasn't going to take long because it really wasn't nothing there, child. I gave you 10 more minutes. I stretched it out for about 10 more minutes than what I really had to give y'all. Baby, this season is sinking fast. This season is sinking fast. I'm going to reiterate. So I'm going to give y'all 3 more minutes and I'm going to reiterate what I said to y'all the other day. I did read that article about Louie and the house situation. Now I'm going to give y'all my opinion on this house situation with Louie. And again, y'all may not agree with me. But the article that I read, it said that Louie took out $1 million loan against the house that they bought last year. The house they bought last year was allegedly, they bought it for like 3-point-something million. Louie took $1 million loan against that house under a LLC that is solely and only his name. Now, part of what the rumor that like what people are saying on the blogs is that Teresa thought she was a part of this LLC, but that Louie took her name off of the paperwork prior to their marriage. Now, I don't know how true that is. I don't know how much of that is just them adding shit to the sauce. But let me give people a different perspective. And y'all know I am nobody's attorney. I didn't go to nobody's law school. But let me give y'all a different perspective. Maybe Teresa's name isn't on a lot of the paperwork because remember, Teresa still owe like $300,000 in restitution and back taxes. Now, the article we read, remember we read an article about Teresa's tax situation. It said that she's in good standing with the IRS because she's been paying it back. So she's probably on some sort of payment plan and she's keeping to her payments. However, she is still in a lot of debt when you look at it from the point of view of owing the government. Now, y'all, a lot of us in here have purchased houses. Maybe they couldn't put Teresa's name on there with her owing $300,000 in fucking back taxes. She might have liquid money, but that's the kind of stuff anybody in here that's bought a house before, y'all know what I'm talking about. That's the kind of stuff that they'll look at, lenders will look at, and underwriters will look at and be like, oh, well, I don't know about that. So maybe it's not as nefarious as it seems, because I'm trying to look at stuff from every angle. Maybe Teresa's name couldn't be on that loan because of the debt that she owes. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Teresa and Louie do have an LLC with their name on it, but that's not the LLC he used to take out the loan. Now, why he needed $1 million loan, don't know, not my business. But I'm just trying to look at things from a different perspective, right? Maybe it's not like, oh, Louie, because like I said, I do still think something ain't right with Louie. Now, I told y'all that. But maybe this situation is not that situation. The other thing I was looking at, this reunion situation. Now that I've had a chance to gather more information, I think the reunion was canceled because of the stuff that has been exposed about Teresa and Jennifer Aiden and all the things that they allegedly have been doing behind the scenes by leaking information to the blogs. Jennifer Aiden allegedly sending the advanced copies of the show to certain bloggers and things like that. Because there's no way that they can have a reunion and not bring that shit up. And I think Bravo don't want to deal with it. I honestly do. I think this reunion getting canceled has a lot to do with what's been coming out with Teresa and Jennifer Aiden. Now that's my opinion. Any updates on my dad? How's he adjusting to rehabilitation? Okay, so I was gonna do it members only. I think I might do one tomorrow. My dad is okay. He is not adjusting to rehab well at all. Last week was a really hard week. I went to see him today. But yeah, it's not going well. We even to the point where we're thinking about moving him to a different facility. It's just not going well. I don't want to get into all the details, but thank you for asking. But my dad himself is doing well, but the facility where he is just, yeah. Watch What Happens Live, and Teresa said that the finale was epic. Well, it better be, because they don't have no damn reunion. But why not address it the same way they did it with Salt Lake City? Because with Salt Lake City, it came out on the show. That's a good question, Jessica. But I'm thinking maybe because this is something that has happened post the show. Whereas, and also you have to remember too that Monica was expendable because it was her first season. Nobody knew her. Yeah, she created fans as the season went on, but this happened during the season. It was addressed during the season. So by the time the reunion came around, it really was Monica against everybody else. You know what I mean? Versus you're talking about two of you're talking about the main star of your show, Teresa. Regardless of whether people like it or not, Teresa is the OG on the show. She's been on the show the longest, and she definitely brings the most clout to this franchise. So you're talking about your main the backbone of this franchise and her sidekick. That's a little different than Monica. You know what I mean? Monica was expendable. You saw what happened to Monica. They fired her. Even though the fans liked her, even though the fans were like, no, she shouldn't be fired. But that's how they handled it. They can't do that with Teresa. Plus, what Teresa was doing was way worse than allegedly, because what Monica was accused of doing was trolling the cast before she was even on the show. She was accused of having a troll account trolling the cast. What Teresa is accused of doing is planting stories about her cast, leaking information to the bloggers. Because here's the thing, they have a clause in their contract where they can't tweet negative things about each other. So a way for Teresa to get around that, she's been going to the blogs. Now, allegedly, Melissa goes to the blogs, Marg goes to the blogs, but it looks like Teresa went a bridge to listen, this woman is accusing Teresa of getting her to pose as a patient at Louie's ex-wife or the woman that's suing them, or that Louie suing. This woman said that Teresa was actually sending people in there as fake patients to try to get information on that woman to use against her in the lawsuit. Like, that is some serious shit that this woman is being accused of. Jennifer is accused of sending advanced copies of the episode to the bloggers so they can, I guess, talk about it, like leak information. You know, so we'll see. But I think that has a lot to do with it. That might not be the only reason, but I definitely think that has a lot to do with it. But anyway, you guys, let me get off of here. Thank you for asking, Miss Carter. I think I'm going to do a members only, maybe tomorrow, depending on my time. There probably won't be an evening show tomorrow because I'm going to dinner with my cousins. We're going to dinner at 6. So by the time I get home, probably won't be doing a show tomorrow. But dependent, I may be able to slide in a members only before I go to dinner. So, all right, you guys, I'm going to get off of here. I will talk to y'all later. Mwah. Peace.